Hi, I'm Lazze and I'm teaching people in metal shaping. You probably have seen me before. It's getting a lot of video there now, so it's 162 video, and I'm now, when I'm settled down in my new shop here, then I can start adding and make more videos. I have changed a few things, so that will make a little more time for me to develop new techniques, new stuff to do, more stuff to show you. So hold on. So on this video I'm going to show you some important things about when you weld panels together. So to practice welding, and I had many people over the years that they would like to learn how to weld, and I have told my students and people that the weld itself, yes, it is important, but it's not as important as it is to prepare for the weld. So if you're welding two pieces together and you have tight and you have a bigger gap, and then you have a bigger gap and then tight and bigger gap, it's pulling different because the gap is different. So I prefer to have minimum gap and just fuse it together with a TIG welder. You can set the MIG welder too, so you can have penetration on the backside. But as soon as you're having gap, it's pulling from the sides to close the gap. And the more distortion you get on the panel. So when you get that distortion, don't go in and try to fix the distortion. Stretch the weld, because the weld is the problem. It always shrinks when you weld. So to do a practice for you, it's great to wheel up a panel like this in the English wheel. So 12 by 12 or 10 by 12, and you wheel that up to a nice convex shape. Then you take the electrical Makita shear and you cut that. Then you have the perfect fit between those pieces, because it's one cut. It's not two pieces that you try to put together. There you have the perfect fit. Then you can tack weld it together, put vice grips, and you clamp it together, and then each 1.5 inch you tack weld it together, and then you hammer and dolly those tack welds a little bit so you got the shape back, and then you can just fuse that together, and then you can see what result you're going to get, how much distortion and how much warpage you're going to get on the panel. Then you're wheeling up one more panel like this, and you cut it with a Makita shear. But before you tack weld it together, you're going to do one more thing. And here's the thing that I came up with to the bead roller. That's what I'm going to teach you today. And I think this is a great thing, and you can be consistent with your pre-stretching before you weld two pieces together. So let's take a look at the bead roller. So I'm over here at the bead roller, and I just cut this out in half with my electrical Makita shear. So now I have a perfect fit there, and I can tack weld those together, and I can have perfect, so it's no gap at all, and I can just fuse it together. But if I do that, it's going to shrink, and it's going to shrink a lot, and it's going to do a lot of warpage, because if I'm shrinking this where the weld is, it's going to make this smaller, and this on the side is going to be longer. Stay the same, but I'm shrinking here. So that means that it's going to be a lot of warpage on this panel. So I find out a different dies in the bead roller to pre-stretch that and be consistent with the pre-stretching. So let's take a close-up for the dies in the bead roller. Here you can see a close-up of the dies that I'm using. And this is an idea that came to me as many other ideas. So here you can see that it's actually two flat dies, but this is only 1/8 of an inch wide flat on the top. That means that that's only what I'm going to, 1/8 of an inch wide, that I'm going to pre-stretch. And I can keep the edge of the sheet metal to this bottom die here. So that means I can't go deeper, and I can't pre-stretch more than this. The advantage of using the bead roller to pre-stretch two panels is that I can set the pressure between the dies, and I use the same pressure all the way. So I'm consistent. If I use a hammer and a dolly, yes, I can pre-stretch the edge as well. But the thing is that I will not be as consistent as I am with two dies here in the bead roller. So let's run a piece and I can show you what it looks like. So I'm going to feed it from your side, from the camera side, so you can see actually what I'm doing. So I put the sheet metal to that bottom die there. That would be my guide. And then I turn this one down, so touching and a little snug more. And I have done a few test pieces, and this is what I like best. So it's better to run it several times than run one time with really high pressure. And you can feel it if you're holding it to the guide here, to the bottom die there. You can feel it that it's lining up with the guide. You can already see here now that it started getting a little shiny here on the edge, and that's where we're stretching it. So I prefer to do it at least 2-3 times, maybe more. And now I can put my hand here, I can feel that it started going a little long on the edge there. When I put my finger here, I can feel that it's getting a little long. So the best is to do 3 times with that pressure on both panels, and then tack weld it together and see how much warpage you got. And if you see that you still got some warpage, that tells you that you could have run it 1 or 2 more times in the bead roller. And now I can feel that it's actually stretching it even a little bit more. It's still smooth, but I can feel that the edge getting a little longer. I tried another top die, one of the flame dies that was more narrow. They were probably 1/16, and I prefer this one that is 1/8. That came out a better result for me. So you do that on both pieces, and then you clamp them together, and then you start melting, or say, tack weld it together, and see if you need any hammer and dolly. If not, then you can just fuse it together after that, and then you can look at the result. So that was the tips and tricks for today. Pre-stretching in the bead roller, and be consistent with the pre-stretching. And hammer and dolly, yes, you can do that, but it's not going to be consistent with how much you hit with a hammer, and also where you hit it. And it's so easy to hit with a hammer in an area where you don't want to stretch. And then you need to take care of that. So pre-stretching in a bead roller can be an advantage to get a better result and quicker result as well. So that's what I had for today. I will be back here soon with another video, and on that video I'm going to show you how you actually can make an air cleaner, or actually the bottom of an air cleaner, but if you can do the bottom, you can do the top as well. So I'm thinking this could be a good thing for you to practice on, because it's one thing to do pieces that is not symmetrical, but this is a round piece, and when it's round, it needs to be flat to the table, and you need to be consistent with your wheeling. You need to be consistent with the pressure, so you don't change the pressure when you go around, and also you need to be consistent with the depth of the shrinking and how much pressure you're shrinking. So this piece is a little different. The other thing is also that I've figured out how to make a flare, cut a hole and make a flare in here. So, and I can make the step here as well. So this is fun. It's a little different to do, but you can learn a lot from doing one of those pieces just to understand how the metal moves. So thank you for watching, and if you already took the step 1 class and you would like to come back to if you already took the step 1 class and you would like to come back for a step 2 class, just go to my website and check what dates would work for you and give me a call. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.